Well, joining us now to look back at the year that was, I'm now joined from our Pretoria studios by Professor Lesiba Teffo to tell us a little bit more about how he saw the past year. Prof, thanks very much for joining us. Welcome to the program. So a year on, it's been a long year and in some ways not so long, given some of the challenges that the country is facing. How would you assess President Ramaphosa's year in office?
Yeah, good afternoon. I think let me credit him for having given hope to the hopeless, for having engendered that national spirit that says, together we can achieve more. He came on board at a time when there was a lot of negativity and despondence. And I'm one of those who argued it would be very difficult for anyone to be worse than the previous head of state. To that extent, that I can regard as an opportune moment that would put him in a good stead. But his own interventions upon coming on board, in and by themselves, also gave even much more reason to believe that we might turn a corner and assume a new trajectory, positively so, via what transpired. For example, many can talk about this and that, but you see, the first cabinet reshuffle that at least excluded those that obviously were incompetent, unqualified to do the job, and were rewarded for having played certain roles, I think was a big plus. Then the idea that for me to succeed and for South Africa to be on the right course, I need experts who would assist me, like this, let me say, eminent people commission or envoy that went out to seek about R1 trillion plus. Whether that will materialize in real investment, I still say we'll see. But at least it was a good initiative, and it seems something is trickling in to that extent. Lastly, just an attempt to make processes of appointing very critical people into positions that are material to the life and soul of the society, in particular, the SARS commissioner and the boss of the NPA. Just making the processes transparent spoke to the view that says, maybe we have turned a corner. This man may be worth giving a chance, and let's see how far it can take us.
All right, so there was, as you said, a lot of hope. The Tumamina speech inspired people, and they had hope, as you said. Do you think perhaps there was too much expectation that could realistically have been delivered by now?
Well, there was too much expectation, and rightly so, because a terrible period. I know that he would hate to repeat the words spoke from his heart, I want to believe, when he said we had 9 wasted years. Indeed, those were wasted years. It's said by him, it's a different matter, because he was part of that wastage. And some may say he even colluded through his silence, because remember, silence is acquiescence. Silence at one level is collusion. To that extent, it may be justified to blame him. But that notwithstanding, I think the initiatives that have been taken now, despite all the challenges that he's facing and the huge expectation, I think is still worth patting on the shoulder and say, so far, so good.
What do you say to critics who say that the president is sometimes trying to be all things to all men, trying to please everybody, and they will point to some members of cabinet that are still there that many think, how can they still be occupying positions at this time?
Look, I think I said it on a public platform that Ramaphosa would have made and could make a better president. Did he not belong to the party he belongs to? And that speaks to changing the Electoral Act, that men and women with the caliber and character of Ramaphosa, given a chance to lead, will not look right over their shoulders and say, by the way, I'm beholden to the tripartite alliance. By the way, I can't fire Nomvula, I can't fire Batabile, because then I'll jeopardize my myself, my position, and I may begin to skate on thin ice. To that extent, yes, he's constrained and not very much can be achieved. And that he could not deal, and he's not even dealing with people whose names are being mentioned in various ways, in various commissions, that is cannot stand him in a good set. Yes, I'm not for parallel processes. Let's allow the commissions to run their course. But where there's sufficient evidence, whereby the NPA was lacking and wanting in terms of supplements to make their cases stand the test in court, if there is sufficient evidence, let the NPA and others begin to act.
All right, one final question. Assuming the African National Congress wins the election in May and he is elected president, will we see a different Cyril Ramaphosa in the years ahead to the one that perhaps has been trying to juggle things and balance the books in the lead up to these elections?
I am less optimistic, and I would be contradicting myself if it were to express something different. He has the wherewithal to make it. But as long as he belongs to the ANC and the tripartite alliance, we will always say he could do more and he not belong to that. Because he will always be constrained. He will always be reminded that there was Nazareth, there was Mangau, and this is a straitjacket, and this is what you must operate within. And that really is what makes it difficult for him. And it's not necessarily the problem of Ramaphosa, it's the problem of the Electoral Act as we have. Because as long as we don't change that, people will not realize their full potential and serve the country the best of their ability. They will always be beholden to the kingmakers.
All right, Professor Lesiba Teffo, thanks very much indeed for your insights this afternoon. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Yeah,
all right.